How you doing? Konnichiwa, it's Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House home in Japan. I've got one thing to say, and that's big booty! How you doing? It's Gray. I'm a little bit hungover today. A fantastic night last night. I posted a little photo, I think just on my private Twitter chat of me off my head in a karaoke snack bar. But less about that. Today we're going to talk about Buckaroo Banzai, and I have two fantastic guests to help me talk about it. First of all the way from, well, the eighth dimension, I think. I've got Salty, traveling, C. How you doing?
Well, things are good here in the eighth dimension. We have really great entertainment. Every adaptation is faithful to the source material. And yes, they probe me here in the eighth dimension, but it's a trade-off I'm willing to make to have good entertainment. Hey, Gray, what's going on?
Oh, mate, great to see you, and thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Salty, your support, your advice, your piss taking, it makes my YouTube life, mate. It makes it.
Yours too, dude. Yours too. I will not be on camera tonight. I'm a little under the weather. Unfortunately, it wasn't because I had fun and got drunk last night. It's just because I think I have a cold. So you'll have to look at beautiful Gray and you're the other beautiful guest star.
Okay, yes, we do have another guest returning for the second week running. Although I did take a week off last week because it was my birthday, folks. Blair the Blair. Let's bring him in. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing? Oh, it's Big Booty. Big Booty.
Booty.
Hey, Booty.
Oh, Jesus. Big Booty. That's the one. Do you know, I thought I'd seen this movie all the way through many, many years ago, but I don't think I finished it because there's so much going on in this movie. It's hard to take in one sitting. What do you think?
Yeah, it's something. It goes all over. You know, all
it does.
over.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you probably could watch it a few times to catch all the little things you miss because it's just bonkers. It's like a total '80s movie.
It
right?
is.
You know.
And it's like it tries to capture every genre from Western to samurai film to 80s music video to Miami Vice to, oh my God, like alt rock stuff. It's in science fiction and horror. And it does it do all of that very well? We'll probably talk about that. But
we'll discuss.
This movie is. If you were going to pick one thing about 1984 to talk about in top 10 films, this may not be the best movie that came out that year because there were so many good movies that came out in 1984. You know, when this movie came out, it was up against Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the first Beverly Hills Cop movie, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Romancing the Stone, Karate Kid, Star Trek 3, the list, Purple Rain, the list goes on and on and on. But one thing this movie does it is just this deep nerd, weird, crazy, everything kind of a movie, and it's beautiful just for that.
Yes, they took it all and tried to put it in.
Yeah, in varying degrees of success.
Just let me shout out Nosferatu and everybody in the chat. It's great to see you. Nosferatu doesn't want to expose me, but he's saying I've got a massive dump truck.
Wow.
Massive dump truck. You can't see it, it's parked out the back. KC Charlie chats, it seemed like a sequel without a first film. Yeah, mate, it didn't. It's like you dropped in the middle of a series or something. It's like, what's going on with this?
Well, the writers of this, and we'll get into it, I was reading about the history of this. They had 6 movies planned, and at the end of this movie,
No way.
They snuck in that there was going to be a sequel to it before it even came out. And then, I mean, we could talk about the box office. This was a box office and critical failure for 1984. It really was. I think it made $6 million on a budget of $17 or $18 million. So this film cost the same amount of money as I'm totally stream branding. Red Sonja with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and made about the same amount of money, which is trippy when you think about it.
Talking about stream braming, Salty, me too. I'm struggling today, as I say. A few too many, what should we say, soju's, Korean liqueur last night that kind of blew my mind. But yeah, where did we start with this film? You were saying 1984, and the list you just gave, Salty, of those movies, it's unbelievable. You could watch those
It's
And,
woefully incomplete. I mean, those are just
Yeah.
like in the
Yeah.
top. I mean, Amadeus, Splash, The Natural, 2010, which we should watch sometime because it's a sequel to the original 2001. That was a cool movie, and that had an excellent graphic novel that came out with it back in the day. Revenge of the Nerds came out. Red Dawn.
Unbelievable.
This is only 1 year. I mean,
I know.
we haven't had this many good movies since like probably 1990. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. I mean, I saw most of these in the movie theater. I mean, the first Nightmare on Elm Street came out. You know, Moscow on the Hudson, which is an incredibly funny movie. The Last Starfighter. All came out the same year. And Top Secret. Oh my God. All right, I'll stop.
Oh, that's a good one.
Work it out. Yeah.
Blair,
But
what do
yet
you think?
I mean, you list all those movies, and we know all of them because we've seen them all.
Yeah,
Can you even name 10 movies in the last 2 years?
No,
You know, they're
but
all shit.
I can't name what I'm going to go see this year either. You know, I wanted to go see a movie this weekend, and I'm like, Jesus, is there anything that just doesn't take a dog's nuts all the way down its throat? And it's like I look at my local theater, and there's nothing I want to see. There's nothing I want to see. You know?
We've got Mr. Tickletrunk saying the same thing. 1984 was the best year for Western films in all of history. Guys, we could spend a month, couldn't we, watching every movie every night and probably still have like more to go at the end of a month. Like, what, 30 days, 31 days? There must be more, but... Yes, before I get too sidetracked, before I start waffling off in an eighth dimension way, how crazy is the title of this film? The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension. I mean, I just cut it to Buckaroo Banzai, you know, for the stream, because who wants to type that out, for God's sake?
Yeah.
Came out in 84, produced and directed by, how do you pronounce this, guys? Is it W.D., is it Richter or Richter?
Richter.
There we go.
Yep.
It's got Peter Weller, Ellen Barkin, John Lithgow, unbelievable in this, Jeff Goldblum, Chris Lloyd, so good.
Let's stop
Clancy,
right there.
Clancy Brown.
Let's stop right there. So let's look at Peter Weller. What is Peter Weller most well known for? It's not this movie.
RoboCop.
Exactly. This guy went into RoboCop. You had Ellen Barkin, who was holy shit. Damn. I mean, this was prime 80s. Wow. You know, this was your epitome of the 80s starlet. She had it all. Then you talk about Christopher Lloyd was in this movie. In the very next year, in 1985, he would go on to star in the role that I think a lot of us look at him that are nerds, which was Back to the Future. You know, I mean...
Did you notice when he was doing his little car with his little over thruster thing?
Yes.
Pyramid thing. I was like, yeah, that's where they got that. They just reused that
flux
whole damn
capacitor. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a piece of tech in this. I think it's the Overdyne something or other. It's the exact same shape in smaller as they use as the flux capacitor in Back to the Future. The other thing is Christopher Lloyd was in a competing movie against this, Star Trek 3. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, right? I mean, he was in 2 great science fiction movies in 1 year, you know?
Yeah.
And look at this guy. What a surprise to see him in here as well.
I know. Where's Nerdporial? It's like,
I know, right? Brian, where are you, man? Mission Nerdporial.
Do you guys remember a show on CBS called Otherworld? The last about 6 up. He was in there. He's that Commander Kroll guy. That was my favorite sci-fi show that like just disappeared. But yeah, and John Lithgow. Oh yeah, there he is. He was huge in this time period.
He was, and this was one of those things where he wanted to be in this movie, and this is one of the movies he will talk about it fondly how much fun he had making this movie. You know, why did this movie get made? You know, back during that time, we talked about it in the green room. People, if you weren't around then, the United States had been going through the 70s, which was a terrible time to be a kid. It was kind of, we had something called stagflation, which seems to be exactly what they're trying to create right now. But the Japanese came in and started buying up all kinds of real estate, movie studios, banks. It looked like the United States was going to become subservient to Japan. Now, part of that appeared in other movies like Made in America, starring Michael Keaton, was about the American automobile industry.
Oh yeah, remember that?
This particular movie is about, the main character is half Japanese and half American, and we tried to remember all the things that he is. He's a samurai, neurosurgeon, physicist, like the list, rock star. Yeah, but this was kind of this way these writers were trying to integrate what was going on culturally in America with sort of the art, and they were trying to do it in a way a lot of these small independent directors in the mid 80s were doing, in trying to create, air quotes, the next big cult hit. There was money in that, and there was money in having that midnight movie circuit thing to be the next Pink Flamingos or Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was cool. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't need to make $1 billion. You just kind of need to make your money back and a little bit more, and that would have been good. But, they took offbeat characters, put them in a wacky plot, and there were a lot of science fiction movies where they did this. The Last Starfighter, you could put that in there too. The Terminator, you could put the Terminator in this as well. But, you give people a few quotable lines like "I'll be back" and, all this other stuff. And you take what was the still emerging MTV music video style of things and put it in a film. And you didn't know what you were going to get, And
videotape had become, home video had started to become a big thing.
Yeah.
Because right around this time, they actually just started ditching the theater and started doing direct-to-video. Because they started figuring out they can make a little, even the smaller places could make, money.
Oh, yeah. God, I still remember when we got our first VCR. I remember, and I've said this on other streams, man, you couldn't just go out and buy a movie. They were like $80 for a VHS tape. You had to go rent it, and it was $5 a night, which in the 80s was, I think, it'd be $20 a night just to rent a VHS tape, to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, what do you think about this? Just taking it from Wikipedia. Like you said before, Salty, box office figures were low. Less than half of the film's production costs were recovered. Some critics were put off, it says, by the complicated plot. There we go.
That's being generous. I'd call it a mishmash of coke-fueled, insane vignettes that they somehow string together at the end, but only marginally. So yeah.
Yeah, I think cocaine played a definite role in the plot development and the editing and the whole process.
Yeah. We've got Casey Charlie Chats pointing out what you were saying, Salty. Marvel Comics promoted this film to death. They even had panels with characters wearing the Buckaroo gear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to share this because we were talking about it in our private chat about this comic book. And I remember getting this comic book and then going to see it at the movie theater or vice versa. Let me pull this up real quick.
Okay, nice one.
Here we go. Yeah. So I remember getting this. And it was great. Yeah, dude, it's a 2-shot series. You can get it on eBay for like $6 plus shipping. It makes more sense than the movie. I'm gonna say that. Okay, it's a lot more easy to follow. It really is. And look what they're advertising on the back of this. It's 1984.
Oh, God.
Frogger 2. Frogger 2, dude. Look at that. Yeah. But great artwork. Absolutely. Look at that. Mario Brothers for Atari on the front cover.
No way.
Yeah. But great
Casey
art.
has it, Salty. I have that. Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah. Just great art. Again, you can find this on eBay. It's a 2-shot series. I think it's worth looking at. It's a great moment in time. It really is.
So, guys, if you had to not sum it up, but what do you think is so good about this movie? Like, why has it become a cult classic? Because it did fail at the box office, probably because, like you said, Salty, there was so much good stuff out that year. It was incredible. What a time to release any movie. But yeah, why is it got this cult following?
Blair, I'll let you go first.
Well, it's got everything in it. It's got Western stuff. It's got rock.
Yep.
He's a rock band. It's sci-fi. They got aliens, Rastafarian, electric aliens. It's just nuts, and it's got the little Japanese element too. He's like, in his little traveling van, his tour bus, double decker, what says Hong Kong Cavaliers on the side. He has like a little mini dojo in the thing,
Yeah.
And it's just nuts. And he's got like this eclectic group of people. They're all musicians. They're all toting guns.
Love it.
He's got like a little NORAD center downtown, in the bottom of the bus. We got the two guys at the consoles, pulling up space satellite imagery and talking to the president. And it's just crazy as hell. And you're a kid. You think this is great. You want to be this.
Yeah.
Any one of these people you want to be.
In I think we said it, and I think it was you, Blair. It feels like a sequel that you kind of got dropped about 50. You walked in the movie theater about 15 minutes too late to get the catch up, and it really does feel that way. This was kind of like everything from geek culture that you could possibly imagine at the time in 1984, rolled into again the MTV vibe. The screenwriters of this, Richter and Mac Rosh, were so confident again that they already had a second movie written, and actually if I remember right, there was a crowd-funded graphic novel that has 6 complete stories that could be movies to this, because this movie was set up to be the next Star Wars. It was set up to be a trilogy, at least. They were so confident that this was going to appeal to geek culture in 84 that when this bombed, they didn't quite know what to do with it. So
and like I was talking beforehand, back there used to be a sci-fi mag called Starlog back in the 80s.
Yes.
And it was a great magazine for kids to look at for sci-fi and fantasy. This was all in that. They did like almost a whole special Starlog just for this movie because they're like really, pushing it. Like, this is like going to be the next geek thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't, but.
Just checking, guys, getting some weird things on the YouTube studio page. So for some reason the stream, I don't know, it's interrupted, but it's pausing and comments aren't showing on my end. But the people in the chat saying it looks okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it looks okay on my end because I've got the stream going on the side too. But this is a movie that got buried in all of those movies we talked about. In the ones that I didn't even cover 1/8 of the. Well, let's be fair. About 1/3 of the movies you would know the title of that came out in 1984. Everybody was going to see the movies I talked about and more. But when this took off was when you mentioned, Blair, when it came to videotape, when people were going and renting VHS tapes and going, "Holy cow, this is crazy." I mean, I saw this in a movie theater with my brother, and we were kind of the only ones there.
Wow.
I was like 14 and my brother's 12, and it's like, this is great. We don't know what the hell's going on, but it's great. And then got the comic books. But then other people who didn't see it later on in high school, like 88, 89, we watched it on VHS along with like Blade Runner and some other stuff, and it totally fit in. It totally fit in with that vibe, because Blade Runner only came out 2 years before this,
Right.
And there was another flop at the theater too.
Yes, exactly.
Home video saved it, and Star Trek: The Motion Picture. A lot of movies that flopped in the theater that should have been one and done found life on home video to the point where they came back in the theaters. So you can't underestimate what the big impact the home theater had back then. It was huge.
No, I mean the VCR was the first time you could actually watch something and pause it and go to the bathroom without missing something. It was broadcast TV. You had to wait for a commercial. If it was a football game or a movie that was on TV, that's all you had was 3 channels, maybe 4 with public television. But who the hell watched that except for Doctor Who?
Exactly.
Seriously. But Sherwood Studios went bankrupt in no small part to the catastrophic failure that Buckaroo Banzai was at the box office. Really, it wasn't until Richter remastered it and put it out on DVD. And if you look at the original print on VHS, the effects are very dated, but the DVD upscale and remastering looks amazing. It is, if you have an opportunity to get that, if you're going to watch this nutty all over the place movie, that's the one to get. Now, not only did they do that, but they added layers and layers of backstory and mythology and context. So when you go back and watch the movie in the sort of special stuff they put on DVDs, it helps explain what the hell's going on. It's about 40 years too late, but still, now we know, so.
Just picking out some of the cast. Ellen Barkin in this, Salty. Before she was pretty, well famous, I think. She was very hot in this movie. And what was going on with the scene? Like, she gets kidnapped and kind of strapped, tied to a weird table. They've got this weird little alien thing crawling towards her mouth. Like, what was going on with that?
Very, very phallic.
Oh yeah.
That was the end. This is the beginning. So the neurosurgeon physicist is now doing his rock gig with his band / people, and she's crying in the audience, and they stop the whole production and throw a spotlight on her and start talking to her.
The Hong Kong Cavaliers. The Hong Kong Cavaliers.
That's it, isn't it? The band name, Buckaroo Banzai and the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Yep.
Like,
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Jeff, go for it. There's other characters that are within this, like Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum is a guy who wears a full cowboy outfit with chaps and a hat, and I think his name is New Jersey, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
And
there he is.
There he is. This is Jeff Goldblum. I mean, this is a nuts movie all across the board. And then there's running gags with a watermelon and a chicken. I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know how you describe this movie. You have to experience this movie because
Do you see the guy behind him? He's got like a leather red tie.
Yeah.
And he's got that little red belt thing that people used to wear back in the 80s when it was all new wave. And
my brother had that. He had the skinny tie and the skinny belt like that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I had that tie. The guy behind him had the flat tie that has no point on it. I used to wear that all the time to church. It was hot,
Speaking of hot, shout out to lovely Sherry in the chat. How you doing? Lovely Sherry, I've got one thing to say. There's no way I'd choose a PlayStation over
I'm
you.
still deciding. I'll let you know tomorrow.
But seriously, guys, you talked about the guy behind Jeff Goldblum there. He looked familiar. I didn't check up who he was, but I couldn't kind of place him. Was he a kind of character actor too who went into the bigger things? I'm not sure.
Perfect Tommy or
the one with the red tie. Yeah, the red shirt, red tie, the two belts going on. He looked like somebody, but anyway.
Let me find out who that guy is.
And Peter Weller, I didn't know him, of course, until, for me, it was RoboCop that kind of, brought him into my sphere. I forgot he was in this. It's crazy, right? I forgot he was in, and how good looking is he in this? He's young, he's probably at the peak of his physical attraction, whatever you call it. Man, he looked good, but look at Jeff Goldblum towering over him. It's like you, Salty. Looking down everybody.
I mean, that, I think he's 6'5". I think he is because...
Okay.
I think him and Gina Davis were together for a while, and she's like 6'3" or 6'4", which is kind of hot to me. But I mean, Gina Davis is really hot, is really tall too. So
the reason why you see the guy in red, his name is Pepe Serrana. He was in Scarface.
Oh, that's where he's from.
Oh, nice one, Blair.
I think he's the guy who gets chainsawed.
That's what I was thinking. He's the guy who's handcuffed in the shower. Yeah.
Zaxx is asking, is it Doogie Howser in the background?
No, that guy's name was Lewis something.
My God.
Lewis Smith.
Yeah.
Love you, Zaxx. Get in here if you can. I know you're probably busy, but you're always welcome. Nosferatu says, I'm going to fly to Japan, Gray, give you a swirly if you don't get rid of this, this heart in my chat. It's not me. It's only on your bloody phone, man. I don't have this heart thing. It's got this, like, heart thing. If you touch it, it, like, puts hearts up on the screen or something weird, and you can't get rid of it.
Well, do that. Let's see what happens. That'd be good.
Do it, Nos, do it. It's a shame it doesn't show for us.
Yeah. Great. What did you think about this? I mean, like, I suggested this a couple of weeks ago, and knowing it was going to be weird, but I mean, where would you guys rate this, I guess, even in B or C tier science fiction weird stuff from the 80s? Is this kind of in a vein where it's like, is it at the level of The Last Starfighter or Crawl or, oh God, I don't, something, or is it in its own little box of weird shit? You know what I mean?
I think it's not like one of those. I think it might even be C tier.
Yeah.
Because it's his own animal, Kroll is, a sci-fi fantasy thing, but it's kind of a quest type adventure. Starfighter, that type of thing. This is entirely different.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you
By
think,
the way, Salty,
right?
Salty, that's right, I was calling you out earlier for saying you liked The Last Starfighter. He wasn't happy about that for some reason.
I saw that. What? My grandpa said you don't get in an argument with crazy people. And if as soon as their backs turned to you, you just kick them in the head really fucking hard. So
that's why we never argue, Salty, me and you.
That's why I love my grandpa. He gave me nothing but good advice. In Bourbon when I was 7. Good guy.
For me, God, how to even describe it? As I said, it's completely bonkers, so I enjoyed that side of it. It's never, ever dull. There's almost like too much going on, as we said. You feel like you've been dropped in the middle of a series, like, what do you call it, in media res, in the middle of the action. But I loved it. I couldn't even finish it, though, because, reasons. I went out last night, but I got like 50 minutes towards the end, and I was skipping ahead to see what was going on. It's like, is it like a parachute scene at the end?
Yes.
What happened there?
A lot. I mean, a lot happens in this movie.
Oh,
I'm sure somebody should get like a double doctorate in art appreciation for deconstructing this film. But it's not for the faint of heart. This is not a movie that you can watch, or maybe you can be on your phone. There's so much to keep track of that it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, and maybe that's okay. But this to me is like a movie that's in the same vein as like Top Secret, only it's not as funny and clever as a movie like Top Secret, where it's kind of all over the place, Yeah,
it literally is. There's like almost no rhyme or reason. It just kind of there's no dull lull spot really. It just hops from one thing to another, to another, to another, to another.
Yeah, it doesn't. None of those things really pay off. Let's be honest about it. It just does them and then moves on.
Attention deficit disorder, the movie.
Yeah, that's it, Blair. Exactly. I was saying that to Salty before we went live. I was like sending him a message saying it's like a weird kind of trippy fever dream, where you're not sure what is going on. Like you're waking up and you're thinking, is this real? Am I dreaming this? Am I still like out the night before drunk? Or what is going on, man? Mr. Tickletrunk saying he rates it 1 out of 10. Okay, Jacob, take it easy, man. You have a good night, a good sleep, and don't have any weird fever dreams about Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah. Hey,
oh my God, look at that. Joseph Dredd just became a sponsor. Hey, that's the first time that's shown up on here, Salty and Blair. I didn't know you. I got these notifications from Stream Elements. Wow,
cool.
I never used to get them. Thank you very much, man. Well, for that, I have to have a very brief clip I can drop. I don't have any Buckaroo Banzai clips, I'm afraid, but where are we? Clancy Brown was in this, so it's got to be this one, hasn't it?
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
He also was in this movie. Clancy Brown the dude was in everything back in the day.
He was.
He looks like a normal man, too.
Yeah, he doesn't have a shaved head and no safety pins in his throat. Yeah.
And he's not a giant compared to the other people because they're all almost as tall as him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You
couldn't tell he's so normal looking. But, yeah, that does look like a shadow ship. I wonder if
that was
had
interesting.
a little...
Nopori was saying that, wasn't he, Blair? Yeah, from Babylon 5. I thought it looked familiar, but even that, I know it looks cheesy, but I thought it was awesome. What a great design for a ship. It's like a piece of coral almost, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's very unique. You didn't see anything else like that.
The weird thing about this is watching this movie now in 2023 is it, everything changes with time, obviously, but this movie seemed to make more sense and be more grounded than current entertainment and maybe entertainment we've been getting for a while. Now, this is batshit crazy all over the place.
This freaked me out. So the scene actually, I started to say I got wonder with this. It was making me have a freak out.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the prosthetics here, it kind of reminds me of the movie Them. You know what I mean? That kind of horrifying, weird.
Oh yeah.
But this movie, if nothing else, it has that human element though. In so many, it's all practical effects. There's very limited special effects. We have to think low budget, mid-early 80s special effects, but it's all over the place. It's crazy. I think the one challenge with this movie, and I remember even as a kid, was there was no compelling reason for me to root for Peter Weller's Buckaroo Banzai. He didn't have any weaknesses or flaws. He was just kind of perfect at everything. He was, he's a ladies' man, he's a neurosurgeon, he's an astronaut, he's a samurai, he's a ninja, he's a rock star. And it was like, but he doesn't actually, he's just kind of too perfect. And so that was kind of hard to follow, and I don't know if that was a piss take or what.
I remember rooting for John Warfan's character.
Yeah.
Lithgow's character. I hope he makes it, He was hell bent on getting the hell out of Earth. I think I was rooting for him as a kid.
Yeah,
Guys, can I just say a quick shout out? Thank you so much, Nerdporial Lifeform, gifting memberships. I don't know why it doesn't show up on Stream Elements. On StreamYard. So I just found it on the live streaming page in YouTube. Thank you so much for that, Nerdporial. And you're welcome to drop in, mate. Even if you haven't seen this, I'd love to have your take. Sorry, go for it, guys.
Like, we talked about how he's like an everything man and he's so perfect. If they were to do this movie today, he'd be like a programmer and a tech bro. That's how they'd play him off.
Salty, that's a great point. That's the one thing I found. I didn't really connect with anybody in this movie. I don't know why that was. So is it the writing? Because it's not the performances. Everyone's great in it. It looks like they're having a great time. It looks like they're all completely off the hedge on cocaine, but maybe they weren't. Yeah, that emotional connection was missing for me.
I think the pacing was just too frantic.
That's it.
Like too much. They didn't have time to develop anything. It's like, we gotta go, man. Come on.
Do you think it was a product of cocaine, or do you think it was they just had so much story to tell that they didn't know how to cut anything out? That maybe they needed an editor.
They needed some self-editing, some help, somebody to read them in, and I'm sure the coke didn't help either. So.
Well, your Barmy in the chat earlier was saying, was it possible they were all taking LSD? Because it is that kind of thing, isn't it? It's completely off its head. It's bizarre. Well, the eighth dimension.
Acid was a thing in the 60s and early 70s. It didn't really make a comeback until the 90s, early 90s. Ask me how I know. But it was mostly about the uppers. You know what I mean? They called them white crosses when I was a kid, coke, those types of things. Not a lot of people were tripping balls. They just wanted to party harder back in the day. So,
where was it earlier on? I missed a comment. Sorry, Will, from Mr. Tickletrunk. Here it is. He was saying a fun fact: the script was written during party games, during a writers' room potluck. They put the writers' favourite genres in a hat and organised them by rating what they brought to the potluck.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot, really.
It is all over the place. So
somebody made this movie, though. Do you know what I mean? Somebody took a chance on a lot of movies back in the early 80s. Blade Runner was one of them. This is one of them. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, I'm looking at the movies from '84. Ice Pirates. Somebody took a chance on Ice Pirates. Now,
I love that movie.
Dude, I saw that too. Ice Pirates totally. it's not a good movie, but it is an entertaining movie. You know what I mean?
Bombed so hard.
It's a joke.
But...
Mr. Tickle Drunk, you got me, mate. I thought you might have been, but I wanted to read it out anyway. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Night of the Comet came out in '84 too.
Ooh,
So
that's a good one.
I love that movie. I think it's totally underappreciated, and the chicken that is super hot too. But so many people were taking chances with these lower budget movies because you just never knew which was going to be the magic one, you know? And, you know, to put things in context, Night of the Comet, I think, made almost, it made more than twice as much as this movie in 1984. So,
as you can say, it did pretty well.
Yeah. But, you know, it was a product of its time. I mean, again, everybody was making crazy movies. Hot Dog, the movie, came out that year. Top Secret.
Yeah.
The Last Starfighter. Against All Odds. Everybody remembers that one. It's just Conan the Destroyer came out in '84.
Oh, my God.
So why not make a crazy batshit movie like this, you know? Hail to you, Nerdporial. Hail to Nerdporial.
Let's shout out Daniel as well. Daniel's dropped a super chat, mate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's a huge help to the channel. Don't you say Ice Pirates is not a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I said it's an entertaining movie. I didn't say it was a great movie.
He loved it back in the day. I watched it a few months ago. Okay, cool. Mr. Tickle Trunk, it's A-rated C-level movie, Ice Pirates.
God, there was another movie, and you guys in chat, and Blair, maybe you guys remember this. I've been trying to rack my brain what the hell this thing was. Okay, wait for it. It had a young Molly Ringwald in it on an alien
Space Hunter.
That's what it was. Damn it! That movie was. I saw that in a theater, and I'm like, I
did too.
Blanked it out, dude. But that movie was crazy.
It was in 3D.
Was the craziest thing. Yes, Space Hunter in 3D. When you start looking at all the science fiction movies that were coming out at this time, it makes sense why something like this got made. It's just that this movie was way beyond.
Naporio saying, never heard of Ice Pirates. It sounds like a cartoon I used to watch. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
Not your kid one, but Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Yes. And Ice Pirates.
Another
Nerdporial
titles.
Yeah, I mean, and they were doing that on the marquees, and they all used that same serif font, and it was black and gold and all this other stuff. But yeah, Brian, you check those movies out if you're bored sometime. They're a product of their time, but they're fascinating. You know, they really are. And Nerdporial, as long as you're here, your guy that you always do that clip from, I think it's from Beverly Hills Cop, that one actor, he's in this movie as well. Oh God, what the hell is his
I always
name?
forget the actor's name. I want to call him
Armetti?
Mike Ehrmantraut or something for the character name.
Yeah,
I think that's his real name.
It's Mike Ehrmantraut is in this movie. So yeah.
We got Awesome One in the chat as well, and Charlie the Unicorn, great to see you. I hope you're good. I hope you're genki. Happy New Year, mate. Is this 80s night? It certainly is, isn't it, Salty?
Yes.
It's 80s night every night in my world, dude. It's 80s night every night.
Sherry 2000 is a good one.
Yeah.
Melanie Griffith.
Cleavage.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel, never ever apologise, mate. It's great to see you. I know it's your game night Friday. It's a busy night for streaming anyway. But this is my kind of not my one chance. I could do a Saturday night stream as well, which is Sunday for me. So this is my weekend. I'm so glad to be back, streaming again and having these guests on. It really helps. Otherwise, it'd just be me talking about waffles, for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this movie. I think it's one of those things where the more you try and explain it, the less helpful it is. Because this is just that it's batshit crazy. Okay,
You just got to experience it, haven't you, Salty? You just got to watch it. You can't explain it. You can't even read about it.
And there's, they tried to develop Peter Weller's, Buckaroo Banzai's, tagline. The Terminator was "I'll be back," and Buckaroo's is, no matter where you go, he says it very soulfully, there you are. And of course, he's on stage looking like he's in an 80s music video, surrounded by the Hong Kong Cavaliers. And this movie's an experience more than a movie. We'll just say that. So
Yeah, it makes no sense. You try to explain it to a normal person because they think you're crazy. You have to see it. Then they realize what you're dealing with.
thank you.
You have to see it for yourself. What's that from?
Yeah.
Matrix. Thanks for that, Nerdporial. And Casey, Charlie, Jonathan Banks. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Jonathan. Completely forgot your name.
Yeah.
He's become that character, hasn't he, from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad to me. He's unbelievable. He's such a great performance.
Yeah. Awesome one says, I'll be salty. Well, you can be my bodyguard. You can call me Al. Oh, I can be your bodyguard. You can call me Al.
God.
I
You
got
can be my
there
wingman.
eventually.
Baby.
Yeah. Look at this. Charlie the Unicorn, Flash Gordon, 1980, already mentioned. Gets better with age. Okay, that one, I remember inviting some kids from elementary school over because we could not wait because it was coming out on HBO. And my dad was stealing cable. This was a thing back in the day where if you knew how to do it, you could steal cable from the lines out there on the house. And my dad worked in electronic stuff. We'll just say that. And you just, got the ladder and started splicing cables, and you got free cable in the house. You wonder where I get it from. But, so to get back to Flash Gordon, man,
sailing the high seas back in the day, eh?
That's pretty much what it was. And they didn't, the guys who ran the cable had no idea it was happening because they didn't even know how that shit worked. They're just running cable to houses. But
That's right.
Flash, but I remember having these kids over and this whole big deal. And this is only my experience. We sat down and immediately the soundtrack started and it was way over the top Queen. And it wasn't my favorite 80s movie. I'm just going to say that to me, all right? But I grew up watching the Flash Gordon serials with my grandparents, the black and white ones.
The black and white ones, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to be on
Buster
BBC Two.
Keaton.
Yeah.
Yep. Buster Keaton, they would have those on Saturday mornings. In my Flash Gordon was Buster Keaton in those black and white ones. I could not get used to what they had done in the 80s one. Now, it's a beautiful movie. And, who plays Ming in that? Oh, shit, what's his name?
Max von Sydow.
Von Sydow. Yeah. I mean, I think he's a better Ming overall, but it is a beautiful movie and a beautiful piece of 80s history.
Can I just shout out Mr. Tickle Trunk, Blair and Salty? What do you reckon? Flesh Gordon is a far superior film to Flash Gordon. Fight me for it.
I'm glad I was muted because I spit some bourbon on myself.
This Flash Gordon was the first movie we saw on videotape.
Yeah.
It was Flash Gordon and Airplane.
Oh, that's a good double header.
Yeah.
One thing I couldn't get used to was the Hawkman in the 1980 Flash Gordon one. I mean, he was cool, but it's like whenever I see Gimli, I kind of have flashbacks to the Hawkman guy from the
Brian Blessed.
Brian Blessed. Yeah,
because the big beard. Yep. He is just the ultimate Hawkman.
What did you think? What did you guys think of Flash Gordon 1980? Great soundtrack.
I fucking loved it. I loved the visuals. I loved the fighting. Do you remember the scene where they're in the arboreal planet and they have to stick their hand to that trunk?
Oh my God, I remember that. I had that. I got that graphic novel too, and it was so crazy in the graphic novel that came out because every 80s movie had a graphic novel that came out with it back then.
Guys, that scared me as a kid, that scene, that putting your hand in the tree scene. Oh my God, it freaked me out. And Charlie was saying, Charlie the Unicorn, it's grown on me, this, because I wasn't sure at first, Flash Gordon, we're talking about. It was just like, a sensory overload of madness, wasn't it? Completely camp, over the top, camp as tits, as you say. But brilliant, and it has aged well. It has really aged well.
It has gotten two movies. The Italians thought it was a very serious movie. So they had a very serious tone to it. The Brits were like the other way around. They were like a camp. It was a send-up. So that's why it had this kind of weird feel to it.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. It does.
Nosferatu shouting out Sleazy P. Martini, who has a crazy YouTube channel. Apparently he's had some of the best commentary ever on Flesh Gordon, the Italian porn version. There we go. Okay, wow, how we're doing? So, Flash, he's a miracle, you're right.
Great, what did you think of the Flash movie? Like,
Yeah.
what did you think as a kid? You can't just like ride us over here like we're a couple of rented mules. Contribute to the goddamn show.
Sam Jones is the man, says Shelby. I'm not ignoring you, Salty. I'm going to answer. And Timothy Dalton in there as well. I love Brian Blessed as the Hawk Man. He's so over the top. I mean, he's brilliant in everything he does. As I say, like it was kind of, what do you call it? It was a bit disappointing for me at the time because it was getting so hyped. I remember it coming out. I think I even saw it at the cinema, Salty, because I am old, like you. But yeah, it was, I don't know, a bit of a disappointment for me because I think I didn't get the campness. I didn't see, were they going for a joke? Or were they playing it serious? I wanted a serious one. I wanted Star Wars,
That's what I wanted to.
More
That's
hopeful.
what I wanted to.
But it was just fun. It's fun now. I really enjoy it. And Blair was saying he loves it. He's always loved Flash Gordon. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It is good.
Yeah, and Dalton was in that. And, who did Timothy Dalton go on? He replaced Roger Moore as 007. Yep. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to say this may be a hot take, but I think Timothy Dalton's Bond, when it came out, everyone hated him. And everyone hated the movies. The box office just went in the shitter. It really did. And that's why they only did 2 movies with him. However, I just went back and watched all the Bond movies through again. And I used to hate Roger Moore. I love Roger Moore now. I do
now, Salty. He's Bond. Really grown on me. He's changed completely. Watching it as an older guy, I think, an older man.
I almost skipped the Daltons. The 2 Dalton movies, and I watched them again, and I
like the first one.
I actually like them both a lot. Like, I like them a lot. Now, to me, Connery will always be my number 1 Bond. Number 2 Bond will be Pierce Brosnan. Always will. But
that man was born to play Bond.
And he would have sooner, except he was Scarecrow and Mrs. King. He was contractually obligated.
Remington Steele.
That's the other one. Yeah, it
that's
was
the one.
same.
Remington Steele.
Yeah, Remington Steele. The other one was Scarecrow and Mrs. King. These were essentially the same show on 2 competing networks at the time. But yeah, I mean, they wouldn't let him out to play Bond, which is why Timothy Dalton got the nod to be Bond. Yep.
And I thought he did a really good job. I liked his Bond movies.
He had shit scripts because the first movie was the mania of Miami Vice. They were trying to make James Bond into Miami Vice, which is why that first movie is about Colombian drug lords feeding people to sharks.
That was the second
in Miami.
One, sorry.
Is that what it is?
License to Kill. What I heard, guys, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that it did well in the UK. Timothy Dalton, the first one, Living Daylights, but apparently, I don't know if it bombed, but it wasn't received well in the States. And so they went for the kind of Miami Vice style, the second one, and that didn't kind of work either. It went very dark, didn't it, there? I think it got too dark for a lot of people.
The first one was the one set in the Middle East, then? Is that the one?
Afghan.
Oh, Afghan. All right.
Afghan and the oil pipeline. Remember that?
And the drugs.
I remember. Yeah. Isabella
great skiing scenes, great snow scenes in that, the first one. I think they end up is it this, on a cello case? They're sliding down on a cello case through the snow, is that right?
Yeah. She was a cellist.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I bet she is. Hey. Just trying to catch up with the chat. Here we go. Roger Moore, Bond films are such a delight, but Connery is still the boss. Absolutely, Miss Moneypenny.
Absolutely. You're making me wet when you do that, Gray.
You got Awesome One saying Bond, Salty Bond. I think you've got a fan here, Salty. Awesome One. Great to see you, by the way.
Hail the Awesome One.
Let's hear Salty's best Sean Connery impression.
I can't do it. If I was drunk, I could probably do it. Like, Ben, Miss Moneypenny, would you pick that up for me? See, I can't do it. I can do Jimmy Stewart, though. I can do a pretty good Jimmy Stewart. I can do Kermit the Frog pretty well. So, yeah.
I like the scene in Trainspotting where they're doing it. They're taking the mickey out of it. I can always do that. It's like, do you see the beast? Do you have it in your sights? So cool.
The Scottish people can do better Sean than we can. So.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's true.
Charlie's saying every Bond movie does great in the UK. Yes, it does. Even the last one, which I'm not going to talk about. All I'll say is James Bond would not quit. I'm holding back from swearing here, so I'm holding back from swearing. He would never quit. That was such
He would never fucking quit. He would never fucking quit. No, but I mean, like, I don't consider those movies with the last guy to be Bond. I just don't. They don't have the feel at all.
I didn't see it. I don't care to.
I saw Casino. What is it? Casino Royale or whatever. It was like, oh, it's the best new Bond movie, and I was like, not
I
really.
like that one.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's a good film, but I never took him as Bond. I never got used to him as Bond. Daniel Craig, did you? Sorry.
He seemed to be too. He wasn't suave. He seemed to be more of a killer.
Yeah.
You know, like a special forces guy who just, he would just kill the fuck out of everybody.
He looked like an ex-boxer, didn't he?
Yeah. Like Sean Connery and Roger Moore, they had like a, they'd kill you with a quick quip and be like,
yes,
stylish about it,
Yeah.
He's kind of like that. Yeah.
And then
yes, exactly. And then Daniel Craig is kind of like the guy who just got his ass beat and he finally got one on you, He looked like he just gotten his ass kicked half the way around the world and he finally just fucking kills a person.
No.
And it's like,
He
might have a quip about it, but he looked like the kind of person that had been through hell. The other guys kind of looked like, oh, my hair got out of place. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. They have to straighten their bow tie and get a new flower for their tuxedo.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Daniel Craig's in traction for 6 months,
Yeah, right. Let me just shout out Nerdporeal Lifeform. Please, thank you so much, but stop, Ray. You don't have to. You're over-supporting me. I really appreciate it. He's killing me with kindness. He gives us $5 saying, I'm trying to do it in Sean Connery, but it's probably going to go wrong here. Here we go. Moneypenny, I'd never even think of looking at another woman. You want to know the true meaning of the world? Yes. I love this toxic masculinity.
Yes.
And I hate that word, Salty. I hate toxic.
Goldfinger is still, it's hard to beat Goldfinger, but From Russia with Love is such an amazing movie. I think it's
underrated, that one. It's an early one. It's underrated. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And the Bond girl is delicious. We'll just say that. Scrumptious.
That fight scene on the train.
Yes.
From Russia with Love. It's so brutal. They tried to copy that in one of the Daniel Craig ones. Which one was it? Was it Spectre?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was Robert. Oh Christ, I'm getting stream bane. The guy was in Jaws. What's his name?
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw.
No.
I was going to say Robert Stack. It's Robert Shaw. Yeah, it's Robert Shaw.
Robert
Shaw.
Jaws.
Yeah,
the movie Jaws, not like the villain Jaws.
No. But yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, the scene with the butch lesbian Russian training woman who's got the knife in her shoe. It's just that whole movie it's just amazing. And then being in Istanbul, oh God, it's just an amazing movie.
Casey Charlie's got it right there. Daniel Craig is rugged. The other guys are charming.
Charming. Yeah. As you were saying, Blair, it's the suaveness, isn't it? It's the quips. It's the intelligence. It's the wit. It's like killing you with a killer line, not just with a gun.
Yeah. I think, oh God, it's not Dr. No. It's, what is it? It's...
Thunderball.
Yes, it's Thunderball, where... I think is Connery's suavest Bond performance when he's got Domino in that whole thing. And then he's got the scuba diving and they're throwing hand grenades at him. It's just an amazing movie. Just an amazing movie.
We've got Your Barmy saying Goldfinger is his favourite, unquestioned. Nerdporeal saying From Russia with Love does not follow the typical Bond movie format. Great point.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a little slower and it builds towards something. It kind of stays in one place as opposed to globetrotting. There's not a lot of crazy, weird this and weird that. It's more of a hard-boiled detective spy thing going on. So
just laughing at Mr. Tickletrunk. Mate, I love your comments. Keep them coming. This is the best James Bond stream I've ever watched.
Hey,
what movie were we talking about again?
We did 40 minutes of Buckaroo Banzai, and I think that's about all you can do without dropping acid and watching it. You have to watch this movie, and you can drop acid if you want to, if it's legal where you are. But yeah, the segue there was there's no other things we can say about it. You got to watch the movie, and then I decided to launch into a tangent and enable. So guilty as charged, Mr. Tickletrunk.
This is how they work. We get on Gray's show. We do about 40
Yeah.
40 minutes to an hour, and then we just reform.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and part of this too is don't wear out your welcome. I mean, we could go into exhaustive autistic detail about every character and every actor and everything in that movie.
But you don't need to.
You don't need to. And there are YouTube channels who have done that. They go into alphabetically, chronologically, all those other stuff. And that's fine for this movie. But this movie is, the movie Buckaroo Banzai, in the adventures of the eighth dimension. It's one of those weird one-offs in a sea of a lot of one-offs. I mean, again, we went through the list of all those movies that came out. This was just a really weird effing movie. There's no other way to put it.
It is unique in that time period because it was.
I know you are.
Just space. It was just like like you said, it's a crime. It's Western. It's sci-fi. It's a music video, and Jesus, it just had too much going on. Oh, what Nos mentioned something about Pierce Bronson. He said that when he first took over, people bitched about him.
Oh, they did.
Everybody bitches about the new Bond, the new Doctor Who, the new whatever.
Yeah.
Until they get their legs under them, and then they become the next great James Bond, or Doctor Who didn't work out for the last one, but
Yeah, or the one before that. Let's be honest about it. And I love Peter Capaldi, but if you don't have good scripts like Timothy Dalton, you're fucked. And that's not the actor's fault.
They can only work with what they got.
And now look at what we're getting with Doctor Who. I mean, that's why for me, I had to put a pin in it.
I quit.
No, I quit. I quit after I think an episode and a half of Capaldi, and I was like, you know what? This 50-something years is a pretty goddamn good run. Hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, hey, nobody else. It's the longest running sci-fi series ever.
Yeah, and it ended after Matt Smith, and I'm so grateful for what we got.
Yeah.
Great to see you, Zaxx. Great to see you. How are you? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I got a bone to pick with you, though, Gray.
Let's
do this live because my gimmick is to review things that I haven't seen.
Okay.
And you're monetized now, and so all of a sudden, you're kind of reviewing things you haven't really seen on your own show, and that's my gimmick, Gray.
Still a gimmick. I did watch it. I just got 10 minutes to the end. I couldn't finish it in time because I went out partying last night.
That's not yet. I mean,
are you drinking more? Is that cough syrup? What are you drinking, Gray? That looks like liquor. Sorry.
I've just had some honey for my throat, and maybe this will sort me out.
Oh, yeah, that'll help for sure.
That'll help a lot. Vitamin S. Yeah.
Then you got
the dog.
Then you're gaslighting Nosferatu the vampire in the chat, and first of all, with that heart emoji that's in your on the app side for all of us, we're suffering in there. In your lowly chat with heart emojis everywhere, and we can't get rid of them, and it takes up half your keyboard, and you're saying it doesn't exist.
It's not my fault. It's not me.
Okay, Nos has had a tough week because there's this though, but also Shelby Loves did her face reveal, and she's good looking, so now he has to deal with that. And on top of that, he gets you with the heart emoji in his chat. Give the guy a break. He's a good guy. He's vampire.
I'm not giving Nos any breaks. He breaks my balls all the time. He breaks.
Guys, I was so gutted yesterday because I was working. It was a work day for me, middle of the work, and I missed the Shelby face reveal and all the simping for her in the chat. It was fantastic.
But here's the thing: like Shelby did that to Gray. She could have been ugly. To Nos, sorry, she could have been ugly, but she chose not to be, only to get at Nos.
Jesus, my God!
I'm telling you.
Damn. Jesus.
I'm telling you, like he's Nos, I got your back up here. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Look for a reach around now. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know what to say. I really don't.
No. Yes, she's married. I know, Nos. So I should have prefaced that first. Yeah, you're right.
Look, you've shocked our dear young man, the Nerdporial life form. He's clutching his pearls and lactating, I think, or something like that.
Hello, Trip.
So
Hail
was it
trip.
now that I'm Zaxx, now that I'm monetized, which has been paused, by the way, because of, how YouTube works. You've got to wait for them to send you a PIN number, which can take up to 3 months, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I'm making like 5 cents on a video.
How
if I'm
are you
lucky.
going to live, Gray?
Now that I'm monetized, am I going to
Yeah.
get more of these kind of personal attacks on my channel? What do you reckon?
Yeah. I guess.
Well, wait until you make a video about something contentious and then you have the trans lobby come after you. I'm just going to tell you that. You've made it when you're called an incel and a misogynist and all kinds of horrible names. I'll tell you that.
Guys, I've got to shout out Salty. Salty's video recently, covering, he's made a couple on The Last of Us, the TV series, the show. It's a great video. It did really well for you, didn't it, for recent,
It's all right.
how things are
Yeah,
going.
it's all
But
right.
the comments on that, so I went down the comments, click newest comments first so I could see the latest ones. God, that was hilarious, mate. What? You really upset a few people with that, didn't you?
The thing was I made a video to address the one where there were comments in that, and it just almost doubled the amount of people who came to hate me. And I'm just like, thanks for the views. Thanks for the views and the interaction. It helps the video be seen,
Gray, you got to monetize your haters. Just,
Yeah.
let them come.
Truth. Monetize, and now I don't like your face. Says Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
It is what it is.
So, Zaxx, can I get your thoughts? We were talking about Buckaroo Banzai about 2 days ago. Have you seen the movie? Any thoughts on it?
No, but I have a strong opinion on it.
Okay, what is it?
It's campy. It's hard to follow. I don't know who the hero is supposed to be, and what was this journey he was on? I mean, it's all over the place. It should have been an HBO Max series, not a movie.
Oh, that was quick. That was short and sweet, like a Reader's Digest.
What else is there to say? Jeff Goldblum's in it. Like, I don't know. I give it a 5.
It's a 5. 5 out of 10 without watching it. That's pretty impressive.
That's actually higher than the IMDb rating, so that's really fair.
I think so.
Yeah, right, really.
It had lots of white people in it, so that was good.
Well, and a hot chick.
had-
It was some hot
Jamaican aliens as well. What was going on there?
I don't know, but I assume there was white people in it because it was made in the 80s.
Yeah,
right.
84.
Well, there you go. I'm 3 for 3.
It did have Asian representation, African American, Jamaican represent. It just used to be
Hispanic,
like really
Latin.
good actors. It had everybody in this. It had everybody in this movie, and guess what? They didn't require a quota to people to put in it. It had everybody organically.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you do this thing where Extreme Elements tells you have a new member? How'd you do that?
I went into the YouTube, the custom chat, and I found a way of doing it. No, wait a minute, I'm talking nonsense. I went into Stream Elements and I found a way to do that, and I also lowered the strictness down to 0. Hopefully, it will stop putting people on timeout for doing all caps. So please, guys, drop some all cap comments or all emoji comments and see what happens. It's not me. I've gone in. I've tried to get rid of it, but I found an option, Zaxx, to get these notifications. I didn't know it wasn't even turned on. Found it by accident.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's Nerdporial again. He's gifting memberships.
Wow.
Somebody stop him, please. Thank you so much. Brian, get in here. We're not talking about Buckaroo Banzai anymore. We're talking 80s movies, and we're probably going to wrap up soon because I know it's late for everybody. How are you all doing?
Yeah.
It's been an hour so far.
I'm
Just
good.
got here.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
just
looking
got
at
it so
ice
Zaxx just got it so it's
Okay.
time to finish the stream.
The Gray is now doing it's time to wrap up. So we got another 2 hours to go, guys. So,
It's time for Salty to go, and everyone else to jump in. It's like, no,
Yeah.
Salty, don't leave me, please.
I'll see you guys in the morning, right?
yeah.
Oh, Daniel, check this out. Daniel
Nice.
has become a new member. Squeaker is a new member.
Squeaker
This
Mouse is in the house.
awesome.
That's amazing.
Here.
Hey, Mickey, just to find you blow my money. Mickey Mouse in the house. It's awesome.
Who sang that? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Tony Basil.
Tony Basil.
Oh, Jesus. I lost me nerd cred
Mickey,
there.
you're so I had the hots for her. She was one of the hot, crazy
She was
alternative girls
really
that
hot.
scared me.
I
Scared
think
me,
that
but-
outfit she wore
Yeah.
was actually her cheerleader outfit too.
Yeah. She was actually, check this out, she was mostly naked in the Easy Rider movie.
Ooh.
She was one of the crazy hippie chicks in that movie. Believe
Was
it
she?
or not.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She did a lot of choreography for videos back in the day, dance videos.
Mika.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Great voice.
Guys, I'm going to do something quite rare. I'm going to share my YouTube studio page. I want to show you this. There's weird things have been happening.
Welcome to the club.
The stream is looking okay. People saying the stream is fine, but for some reason it's like, here we go. It's playing it from like, what do you call it? 50 minutes ago. It's really weird
just
over
ignore
here.
that shit. Ignore that shit. I never pay attention to that, man.
And I keep losing people. It went down to
I don't know what
zero
that is.
members and 0 watching and like 1 watching, and I don't know what's
Yeah, that
going on.
happens all the time.
It'll happen with my stuff where it looks like I have 2 people and really it's like 30 something. You know what I mean? It's just ignore that. Just don't pay attention to it. It's like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Just ignore it, you know?
Don't feed it attention. It'll. Yeah.
Did you guys miss Tickle Trunk in the chat calling you guys out for Beatles love?
Whoa, wait
What?
a minute. Needles? Wait,
Beatles.
what? Beatles?
What Beatles?
mean, like,
love?
No Beatles.
Well, the Beatles
Okay.
spelled with a double E. Yeah, they were overrated. Mr. Tickle Trunk, you're right.
I was never a fan. I like the Stones.
Sparkles are bullshit. Yep.
I'm trying to think if this is like an alt rock band from like the late 80s as opposed to the Beatles, George, Paul, Ringo, and all that.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Oh my god.
I know. I wouldn't normally share that screen, but I just wanted to show you. It's very strange, isn't it? Very strange. Anyway. Ooh.
Wow.
So, guys, I shouldn't have had that hair of the dog. I think it's just sent me back to where I was last night in the karaoke snack. Fuck. Wasn't a good idea. I thought it'd sort my throat out. It's actually made it worse. Beatles are great. Obladi, oblada, life goes on. Look at Nerporeal. I think Nerporeal's been drinking as well. That's why he keeps
Do you
gifting
think?
me
Oh,
memberships.
drunk Oreo.
Lucy in the sky with Nerdporeal. Dun, dun, dun.
That's right. I just want Salty to sing "Glycerin" by Bush.
I used to karaoke that. I did. I
Used to?
karaoke. Yeah. And I won't even attempt it because I got a little bit of a cold and this bourbon's helping it. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My God, there's a lot of hate for the Beatles. What's going on? The Beatles rule, says Nosferatu. You all suck. Not me.
Beatles
Not my
are under
words.
attack.
Yeah.
Beatles are definitely average or someone. There we go. This stream's gone all over the place, hasn't it?
Cancel
Well,
the
it's
Beatles.
got they're half dead already, guys. I mean, just give it some time. Then you won't have to worry about them anymore. I mean, I know it's terrible to say, but
There's only Paul left, isn't there, at the moment?
Ringo,
He's
he
in-
ain't
oh,
dead
and
yet.
Ringo.
Oh God, sorry,
Ringo.
Ringo, but Paul's an imposter and he has been for years.
It's true. Paul's dead. No, I mean, but check it out. Out of all the Beatles, who would have thought that Ringo would have stayed married to go back to James Bond, a Bond girl?
Yeah.
And they've been
Barbara,
married this whole time. Barbara, dude, she's the dope ride. Let's be honest about it. Oh my God. But I think they have 2 kids. Is it 2 or 3 kids and a son that like looks like Ringo? God help him. But they're still together. You know.
That's nice. Every once in a while, you have a
Finding an
couple,
image.
a true match,
Yeah.
as opposed to somebody
Yeah.
goes through 15, spouses in a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I miss those streams. Awesome one too. The problem with karaoke is, as I learned at Christmas, is even though you're using a karaoke song which is copyright free, the owners of that song will still take all of the revenue from your stream, even though you do a song for 2. Okay, you just distracted me. Zoom in.
Mamma mia.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. I need to see nipples, or it didn't happen. Come on.
I'm trying, Salty. I'm trying.
Safe search off.
Oh yeah.
Safe search? What's that? I have no idea.
Yeah, but look, I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. And God, what was the name of that movie? It was the one where they were in Egypt. It wasn't From Russia with Love. It was it wasn't Your Eyes Only. No, it was For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, that's the movie.
No.
Yeah, I think no.
That was the Greek chick.
No,
that was in
it
that
was
one.
The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah,
the
that's
one,
it,
The
that's
Spy Who
it.
Loved- Yeah. But The Spy Who Loved Me with Jaws, who tears apart that little delivery van with his teeth, by the pyramids. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Triple X. Exactly, Nerd Portal. Agent Triple X.
Nosferatu, I will never do that. Type in tequila nudes. Just saying. Okay, guys, should we wrap things up? Because we're kind of like running out of things to say.
Yeah.
Well, we can keep going if you like.
They're hiding Tickle Trunks chats.
Where are we? Let me go back to the studio page.
I just had to show it.
Oh, see, I'm not. Message retracted. Yeah.
And he's a member as well.
Yes,
You can't do that to my members. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, Zaxx gave this a 5 out of 10.
Yep.
I think out of 10 scaling, I'm going to go with a 4. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with a 5 like Zaxx. And the reason why is I think this movie has aged with time, but it is still batshit crazy. And this is nothing that I would ever watch once a year. You know, every couple of years, if it's on, I may watch a few minutes of it. But it's a disjointed, crazy, beautifully insane time capsule of a very risk-taking, science fiction, fantasy-friendly movie industry. And I miss those days greatly. So, what about you, Blair?
I give it a 3. It was just too disjointed.
Yeah.
You know, it was just too frantic. Like you said, I cannot watch this once a year. Maybe like every 5. You know.
No.
For me, let me think. I'm going for a 6 out of 10 because I had fun. It's completely bonkers. I didn't feel emotionally connected to the characters, but I had a good time, and I love those Jamaican aliens and the poetry they were reciting, kind of half rap. It was really, really good.
Who was that guy? Who did Electric Avenue? You remember
Eddie
that
Grant.
song?
Eddie Grant.
I think Buckaroo Banzai took a hit off a Bon in Jamaica and got mixed with some acid or something. So that's why all the Jamaicans are electric, because it's Electric Avenue. He's listening to it. We're in his little drug-induced fantasy. That's what's going on here.
He had 2 charting songs in the United States. One of them was Electric Avenue. The other one was Romancing the Stone.
Mm-hmm.
He sang the song for I'm romancing the stone. Never gonna leave your poor heart alone. God, there's a movie we should watch and review. Romancing the Stone.
That's a really good movie.
I love that movie. Yeah, love that
I'm
movie.
gonna walk down to Electric Avenue.
I love that.
That takes me back, man. That takes me back.
Yeah. God,
I love that
Hashtag
song.
cancel Wakizashi. Daniel, thank you so much. Daniel, even if you aren't a comic book fan, everybody should watch Gray, that's me, recap comics. His melodious storytelling gets me into the mood every night.
Wow.
Whoa.
Thank you very much.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Satin 90. You do, Daniel. Yeah.
For that, there can only be one clip for you, Daniel. Here we go.
I want to find out who that chick is because I want to see her naked somewhere because I am so enraptured by that girl. I don't know who that actress is. I'm going to watch Excalibur, watch the credits just to find out who she is because given that when this movie came out, I'm sure she was naked in something. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. Maybe that's my weird stuff. And no, Nosferatu, the vampire, Romancing the Bone, and Star Whores are not movies I'm interested in reviewing. So.
Salty, to address your comment, it's actually, I made a mistake. I thought it was John Boorman, the director's wife. It's his daughter, and you do see her naked.
Wow.
All right.
In
Right,
Excalibur,
that's
do
a
you
little
remember?
weird. I mean, I don't need to know.
It sounds weird, but no, she's of age. You know, she's of age in the movie. I
No,
don't know
it's
how
not.
old
That's just
she was.
no. Just like her dad would know that I saw her naked. And, yeah, but never mind.
Can you imagine directing your daughter naked at anything? No. Fuck that.
No.
I'll be right back.
No.
I'm just going to watch that clip. I won't be a sec.
Clean up on aisle 3. Clean up on aisle 3.
Let's run the timer. How long does it take? Well,
Yeah. How many licks does it take to get?
Not
Oh,
even
there-
30
wow.
seconds. Not even 30 seconds. Come on.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm old. What can you do? I'm lucky I can even get it up anymore.
Ray, there's a full-blown rebellion brewing in your chat right now.
Yeah, there
Oh.
is.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why? Can I
You're not
shout
paying
out to
attention.
Your Barmy as well? Your Barmy, thank you so much for the super chat. You are Barmy for doing that, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. $2. What's going on, Zaxx? What's happening in the chat? Is it Mr. Tickletrunk doing this?
No, I mean maybe.
There's a lot more than that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We got Japanese bath as a family till whenever. Nosferatu the Vampire says Steven Tyler pimped out his daughter, and I'm gonna stop there. Yeah.
Wow.
Nos is calling for a boycott.
Hashtag cancel Wakazashi.
Yeah,
Oh dear. Here we go again.
here it comes.
So Zaxx, what would you rate this movie then, Buckaroo Banzai out of 10?
I already said it's a 5.
Okay, sorry man, I missed it.
Having not seen
scotch.
it. Having not seen it. I mean, maybe I have seen it, but I don't recall it at all. So
I haven't seen it so long. I watched it again tonight. And I forgot about half the movie. You know,
Oh yeah.
there's
It's
a lot
easy
of
to
it in
do.
there.
It's easy to do.
also one gives it 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Sounds
Oh,
fair.
nice one.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of Exile, there's a lot of nudity in the 80s.
I miss it.
It's
I miss
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, and what constituted a PG was pretty much everything. I mean, you can get away with everything. I think if they showed Bush, you got an R, but man, boobs were
Yeah,
everywhere back in the day. You know, I remember my parents taking me and my little brother to go see movies that were PG, and there were boobs everywhere. I mean, not like side boob. We're talking both boobs, like boom. You know.
Yeah.
I remember boobs.
I've seen it, Daniel.
Okay, 6 out of 10 realistically from Mr. Tickle Trunk. Nice one. But he did say 8 out of 10 if I hold my breath till I pass out first. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a fun show.
It has
been a
been
good
great.
show.
So before we finish, let's go around the horn and see what you want to shout out. Blair to Blair, are you guesting on some channels coming up?
Yes, we are doing this Thursday, The Road Warrior with Roman of the Empire.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna make John, the blue collar creative, watch it because he never has before. And yeah, we're gonna go into it. That's one of the greatest 80s movies ever made.
True.
So that's what we got coming up this week.
Okay, that sounds good. I love the Road Warrior. That's the first one, isn't it? Mad Max, the Road Warrior.
Second
And
one.
oh, sorry, the
Road Warrior's
second one's
2.
amazing. The second
Yeah.
one with the guy with the Mohican.
Throwing yogurt.
Mohican. Wait, you got Mohicans throwing yogurt? What?
Stream brain.
Is
kicking
this
in
Star
again.
Horse? Are we talking about Star Horse again? What?
Is it the bourbon too? Is that maybe helping the stream brand?
Yeah, it's actually Scotch this time, Zach. So
Oh,
treat
is it?
yourself. This is a birthday present to myself. You know, I love doing those.
Attaboy.
Ardbeg, wee beastie.
Ooh,
It's
It's
beautiful.
absolutely
Is it good?
splendid. Absolutely splendid, Miss Moneypenny.
yeah. So,
testing
Mr.
the
Tickle
bar.
Drunk, yes, throwing yogurt. We can see that. Okay, so it's the cussing, maybe. He says, "Put your banana in my hand." Does this show up? Yes, it does.
Oh God! On that note, I think it's time to salty. Sorry, what have you got coming up, mate?
I
I'm
don't
all over
even
the place.
know.
I'm
No,
all over the
man.
place.
Oh, what am I doing? Well, I'm on your show right now. No, I'm dropping videos probably once a day, sometimes twice a day. I just dropped a video I'm
he's
really
going for it.
proud of today. That was working in concert a little bit with Jed, the Hollywood Scholar. I reference one of his source videos, but it's an analysis of what's coming in episode 2 of one of the most boring, asinine adaptations I've ever seen. The HBO's The Last of Us. I go over what is wrong with episode 1, the ending, and then talk about the messaging we're seeing it within it, but also reference kind of how the show, even in the media, is selling the trans climate change narrative. Where have we seen this one before? It's actually a fun video. I take a lot of source material from the game to show you what the world should look like versus what we got. Other than that, I don't know. I think on Wednesday I'm going to be doing the usual woo show with Purple Valkyrie, but otherwise I'm just dropping videos every day. So thanks for having me on, dude.
I really appreciate you coming on, mate. It's great to have you here. It wouldn't be the same without you. That's all I'll say. Test time. Bollocks! Is that showing up? Isn't it? I'm just testing. I think because it's my channel, so I can do that. Can I swear away in the chat? I probably can't I? In all caps. Anyway, speaking of swearing, Zaxx, what have you got coming up, baby?
Tomorrow night, 11:30 Central. It's going to be Circle of Jerks on my channel with Flaccid, and we have no topic or subjects. It is we just roll with the chat and whatever comes to mind. So who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be fun.
Those streams are a lot of fun, mate, and it's a great time for me. It's like, I think it's about 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So yeah, look forward to that.
They've turned to be like, at first it was kind of a bit of a joke, but it turned into a lot of fun. So just to go on and have nothing to talk about, but that actually, we end up talking about so much, and the chat kind of guides us, and it's a lot of fun. So tomorrow night.
Daniel saying Gray's going to make you sit in the corner, Nos, if you're not careful. I would never do that to Nosferatu.
No.
He's not young enough. He's not underage enough. Oh, I didn't say that.
Wow. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Let's go, Brandon.
God.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, cool.
And I've got something coming up, guys. It's not showing yet. I've not set it up, but I do have something coming up. Right down. No. I've got something coming up. It's a live stream, hopefully Saturday evening with Nerdporial, the Nerdporial live form. Sweet. Oh my God, I miss you so much, Nerdporial. We're going over Star Trek, the original series. It's our second one. We're going to do Naked Time. Naked Time, the one with Sulu with the fencing, with his top off. Ladies and gentlemen, he looks pretty good back then, didn't he? He's completely insane now, of course, but he looked pretty good back in the day. Old George Takei.
Wow. I didn't know that about you, Gray. I'm glad that you feel comfortable enough to come out on your own show. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Takei had to hang around in a lot of gyms, locker rooms, and things like that.
Yeah.
Snapping towels, so I'm sure he must have got to work on it at some point while he was there.
Oh, yeah. That was his moment to shine. Shirtless.
Yeah, a spit and shine.
Hello.
Okay, guys, this has been a blast. I don't want to finish it, but I'm wrecked. I'm going to have my old man nap, I think, under the kotatsu in the tatami room. Because I'm poor. Don't go to bed at 3 a.m. when you're 50 years old, because you spend the rest of the week trying to catch up on sleep, trying to make feel better. It feels like I've just come back from England. I've got jet lag for the next 3 or 4 days probably, just for one late night. Wait till you guys reach 50.
Yeah.
So someday.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
A lot of fun. And on that note, thank you so much to the chat. Thank you to the panel.
Chat.
Thanks for coming on, taking time out of your busy evening, your night. I know it's late where you are, but I really appreciate it. You guys make the stream. You guys in the chat. Thank you for the support and the memberships. Zaxx, you'll always be my number one, baby. You'll always be first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grease that up.
What?
Before I start crying, I better drop this.
Wakizachi's Tea House. Please subscribe.